Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to week 5 of the Sportsbook Show to be named later. I'm your host, Jake, aka Snake. Joining us this evening are Joey, top left corner here on our screen, and Sabo, top right corner. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Let's run this quickly. Appreciate you guys giving your time to this incredibly prestigious show. We're going to go and look at, we're going to look at our results this week, if I can find them. Here we go. We'll look at the standings first. All right. So on my screen, you guys are going to have to follow along at home. I'm looking at the week 4 standings. And we have a new weekly winner. Joey had himself quite the showing, earning $219, netting $119.62. Came in second this week. Yours truly, $33.52. Sammy also had a great week, netting $13.56. And then Clayton, Sabo, and John are all in the hole. You guys can see that there. I won't go through each and every detail. John Nostradamus, unable to join us this week, guys. The same with Sabo and Clayton, or not Sabo, Clayton and Sammy. They will be they'll be joining us hopefully next week. But John's still in first place with 112. I'm behind him with 60. Joey's got himself out of the cellar and up to $20 on the year in the positive. Sabo and Sammy, sadly, are still in the hole, but give them time, folks. I'm sure they'll figure this out. And then Clayton is a comfortable 39 cents above the threshold here. Let's get to the results just quick. We'll try to run this as quickly as possible. So I only hit one bet last week, but luckily it was my big one. Sergio Garcia missed the cut. There was not an albatross. I didn't realize how tough that was going to be until I'm watching the tournament, realizing literally there's probably about 3 guys in the whole field that can drive a green on a par 5, or not drive a green, drive it or get to the green in 2 on a par 5. That was pretty much my only hope, but that didn't have a prayer. Taylor Pendrith, although he made the cut, there were a lot of Canadians popped off last week. And then Mito Pereira, sadly, Keegan Bradley did miss the cut, but Cameron Tringali popped off and ended up finishing ahead of old Mito. But you might see that name again this week. Without any spoilers, that bottom prop had no prayer. I'm not even going to get into it. The Bengals prop on Thursday didn't have a chance after the first half. All right, moving on to Sammy. Boston College covered, Cleveland covered, and his lovable Washington football team covered. He missed the Detroit money line at Chicago, and then missed his parlay because Detroit didn't cover. Well,
Detroit did not cover, I don't think.
Yeah, that might have been, and Tennessee lost, so that was another one. But great week nonetheless. 3 out of 5. Put him in third place this week in our standings. Sabo, the prop king, hit Laviska Chenault. I don't know how you pronounce his name. It's a great name. Don't know how to pronounce it. He hit the over for receptions on Thursday night. Jacoby Myers also hit his over, and that's all he needed to get ahead of John this week. Doc Redmond was hanging around the first 2 days, and then kind of teetered off, getting out of the top 10. Kirk Cousins not lighting the world on fire against the Browns this weekend, and then Miles Sanders, James Robinson, Jonathan Taylor. I think James Robinson was the one that hurt you there. Potentially Miles Sanders.
No, it's Miles Sanders because the Eagles just are not going to run the ball this year, apparently.
Did James Robinson have 5 catches?
That was Allen Robinson. And I don't think he did. I think that I missed 2 on that one.
Well, I wrote you down as James Robinson. You're gonna have to check me next week. Because I wrote you down as James Robinson, 4.5 receptions.
I think most of my guys you should know. I'm pretty sure. No repeat last names here. Yeah.
That is my mistake. We will we'll be sure not to do that again. I'll double check and review that with our panelists next week, so we don't have that same issue. Any parting words with your week 4 slate there, Sabo?
It is what it is. This week's gonna be really tough because I'm pretty much money on these Tampa Bay picks, but Tampa Bay the props. I was hoping with the delay in the show the Tampa Bay props would have come out by now, but even then I kept refreshing the page and they haven't popped up. So this week could be really brutal for me. Not having any Tampa Bay Miami props up there, it's gonna be bad. I'm all about those overs.
We will watch with great intrigue.
That's a big mistake I think I'm making. Is I'm too much into the Eric Latta mindset, where his mindset is life is too short to bet the under. So I think I've literally bet an over every single time, hoping for the excitement, and maybe I should start looking for more conservative unders. Is a mistake in my process, but don't worry, I got all overs this week, but maybe next week.
Okay.
I'll go one under.
Who knows?
Overs again.
Who knows?
Don't you worry. We're rooting for chaos.
Thank you.
So.
Thank you, Mr. Chaos. John last week had a miserable week. Didn't help that I took $50 of his budget as a punishment. Nearly won him 600 though, because Brentford went up early.
I would never gave him $600.
Brentford went up early on West Ham and ended up winning 2-1. They unfortunately needed to win by a margin of 2 or greater, so that was a loss. Notre Dame alt spread. We don't need to get into that one. The Rams, Arizona halftime, full time. Unfortunately for John, the Rams did not have the lead at halftime. He did pick the winner, but it was not meant to be. Baltimore covered. Green Bay won. Cleveland covered, and unfortunately the Bengals did not hit. So that was his parlay loser there, the Cincinnati Bengals. That cemented him into the last place slot for our standings this week. Joey, we'll get to you here. Green Bay covered -7. Excellent pick against your lovable losers. BG money line, man, that was a tight one. Oh man, we had him 20. It was tie game in the 4th, and Kent drove down late and pulled away.
I was glued to my phone, just refreshing ESPN, just seeing what was going on. And it went from, I think, at one point there was 30 seconds or a minute left, and the next time I looked, the game was over. And I was like,
They didn't pull off the miracle.
Maction. The ESPN app with the Maction is quite an experience. You go from it's like halftime 1 minute, and then, oh, nope, the game's over. We're 2 hours delayed.
Pretty sure they just asked one of us.
Experience.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they just asked one of us to keep track, and they were not even at the game. The guys aren't even at the game that are keeping track of it.
Follow the BG football Twitter instead of the ESPN.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. Get back to Joey here. Herbert Carr, tough first half. Didn't have a prayer. Raiders money line. They got it to one score in the second half. Looked like it was going to be interesting, and then Chargers kind of pulled away. Never got back into it. And then your money line parlay, baby, that was quite a hit, and that was a $200 payout. Arizona Cardinals over the Rams. Yep. The Ravens over the Broncos, and then Tampa beat the Patriots. You had to sweat that one out, but ended up working out quite well for you, netting you the top spot in our contest this week. Congratulations. Anything to say about your winning ways here?
No, I'm not gonna say that. I had a dream and I got all my picks from it, like John would say. I'm just gonna say that I was trying to make some smarter moves, and I got a little lucky. Got a little lucky, and that's all it's gonna come down to every week. A little bit of luck.
That's all it is. Last but not least, Mr. Walters. Detroit missed the cover. His Brownies hit. Washington football team under. Sadly, not meant to be. I think a late score ended up pushing him over. So he probably wasn't too happy about that. Tampa New England under was about as easy a bet as he's probably ever made, and then Cincinnati won, KC won, and Buffalo won, Cleveland won, Tampa won, but Detroit and Tennessee both losers in his parlay. Wasn't meant to be for Mr. Walters, but he's not in the punishment seat this week. Mr. John is, but instead of getting to the punishment, which I should have talked to you earlier about this, are we going to be enacting said punishment this week, Joey, for this week's show, or are we going to save it?
It's going to be saved for next week. It's going to be saved for next
Roger that. We will put that on the shelf for next week's show. Hopefully John can join us to enact his punishment here as Joey enacts his revenge. Let's just start out with Clayton. Mr. Walters, you guys can follow along here. Yeah, I'll open the original here. Make it a little big. Oh, that didn't make it any bigger. All right, we got Chicago +5 at Vegas. I got a better number than he did in my against the spread picks that I've been doing. But I do like Chicago this week. I think the Vegas is going to kind of come back down to earth, and Mr. Fields is finally got the coach's backing for no real good reason. Mr. Gase did not want to put his money on the number one round one draft pick. Excuse me. Instead, he would rather put his faith behind Mr. Dalton. However, not healthy, so it's not gonna bode well when you got the red rifle, Gimpy. Glad to see him finally back as rookie quarterback, give him some confidence. Hopefully, he continues not calling plays and has the offensive coordinator call the plays, because that performance in Cleveland was despicable. Let's get back to Clayton's pick real quick. Giants +7 at Dallas. I was on the fence on either side of this. I could see it either way, honestly. I think I ended up going Dallas -7, but we'll look later. New Orleans at the Washington football team over. I kind of like that, but I kind of hate it at the same time. Let me think here. 44. That's not a lot of points. He could have backdoor cover again. He might be on the winning side of this one instead of last week being on the under. Jets at Atlanta under 46. This is the London game. Who the heck knows what's going to happen? Maybe Zach Wilson becomes Joe. I don't know, not Joe Namath. He probably wasn't that great of an offensive quarterback. Maybe Zach Wilson becomes
Testaverde.
I guess that's their best. Yeah, is he their best? What's their best offensive quarterback? I guess Testaverde, Chad Pennington, Brett Favre. That's it. Maybe because Brett Favre this weekend just lights the world on fire. Was that his last pick? I can't.
Miami.
Oh, he's got Miami, low-scoring team on Sunday, making sure that he reminds himself that it's +850. The odds are +850. He bets 10, 195. If he hits all 5 of these, he'll earn 266.82. Pretty pouch dodgy picks if I do say so myself. I don't think I think he plays it safe rather than sorry to stay out of the punishment circle. Let's go to Sammy Dyer's picks now. Eagles at Panthers under 45.5. Curious. Not exactly sure what he sees. I guess maybe he thinks Carolina's just going to put the clamps on Philly because
Hasn't been watching our
I
defense.
don't think Philly's going to be putting the clamps on Carolina.
Nope.
Packers at Bengals over 51.5. They're missing. Green Bay's missing their starting corner. That's certainly going to help matters. Fortunately, they did not sign Uncle Gilmore or Cousin Gilmore, whatever relation I am to him. I mean, at some point, right? If you have the same last name, at some point down the line, you have to be related somehow. So, me and Stefan are family. I was sad not to see him in the Queen City, but we'll take what we can get. It was fun to dream while it lasted. Anyways, sure, over 51.5. I could see it. Titans -4 at Jags. I love it. Mr. Distraction himself. Urban Meyer. We don't really need to get into that. That's not what this show's for. But I assume the Jags have a lot of other things on their mind other than winning this football game. Bucks -4. Washington football team +8. Titans +1.5. Lions +15. He raised that one quite a bit. Sammy loves buying points here. And then Niners +11.5. These are crazy spreads. That gives him odds of 432. Bets 20 to win 106. He loves those alt spreads. What can I say? It's not something I'm prepared to comment on, really. I certainly hope the Lions, being a professional football team, can keep this game within 15 points, but who knows? And then his last one's Ohio State -21, hosting Maryland, I believe. Definitely was toying with them on a not money line parlay, I guess a spread parlay. Definitely confident that Ohio State can beat these Terps by 21. So I like that one. Mr. Shame. Moving on to John. Just submitted his picks like a good boy here for our live show. He's got Penn State money line versus Iowa. One of our guests this evening is going to enjoy that one. Bet 20 on all of these, +110. Undefeated. Who the heck knows? Pretty untested so far. It's definitely going to be their biggest test. We'll get to more of a preview on this game with Joey's picks. Him being the Penn State fan and all. We can get into it later, but. Next up on Mr. Nostradamus' slate, he's got Michigan State money line, Texas covering neutral site Oklahoma, I believe, and then West Virginia money line. I couldn't tell you who West Virginia is playing this week. I can't remember. I believe it is Big 12. It is going to be a conference game. Potentially not too big of an opponent because his odds are only 494, so they must be favored by a decent margin. Bet 20, 118. Robert Woods TD scores.
God, I hope so.
I don't know exactly. Can you guys tell me? Is this anytime touchdown? I assume +110.
I assume, but
Yeah.
Anytime touchdown? Okay. We'll go with that. We'll give John benefit of the doubt on that one. Jags Titans halftime full time. This is a classic Nostradamus bet here. This is a staple. He's got the Jags winning at halftime and the Titans winning the game. So it's +600. He hit one on week one. It probably was a bad thing because now he just has the confidence that he's going to hit one of these every single week. Hey, good luck to him. I love seeing these in the bet slip. And then he's got Bengals money line at Packers or at home versus the Pack, +140 on DraftKings. Potentially could have got better odds. Another book I didn't really check for him, but good luck to Nostradamus. Hopefully he gets out of the hole after 2 weeks in a row down there. Let's go to my picks. I will pull this up here. on our screen. All right. I've got White Sox, Red Sox winning the divisional series. I just think that it'd be really cool to have both Sox teams moving on after round one. That's the only input I have. No, that's not true. I really liked what I saw in Boston, even though it's a pretty emotional victory. Probably don't care much about this next opponent. Their World Series pretty much was just knocking New York out of the race. But I really like that offense. I think they can travel to Tampa. You just need to take one in Tampa, and then win your home games, and it's just that easy. Just that easy. Just ask the Reds. If they ever make it again.
Find out this can go all the way to the next Wednesday.
So yes, the game. Well, one of the games will probably be a day game, and if they both play on Wednesday, who knows? I mean, if we're recording at 11 p.m. right now, the game's probably going to be like over by the time by the time we like finish this up. So who knows? Like if it comes down to that bet for me, I'll actually feel pretty good because that means Boston or Chicago moved it to Game 5 against a superior opponent, supposedly. The White Sox have the Astros, and Red Sox have the Rays. The Rays are an excellent ball club, no doubt, but I like what I see in Boston, and it's just one of those years where I feel like no one expected Boston to win, and they're going to come out of the blue and do it again and make a run, and I just think they got what it takes to at least move past round one. And then I really like Chicago. I watched the entire. This is based on one game, watching a regular season game, but I watched the entire Field of Dreams game against the Yankees earlier this year, and I was like, well, Lance Lynn looks like he could match up with just about anybody, and I really like that offense. I hate Tony La Russa, but the team I think just is so much fun, and the fact that they had Tony La Russa as a manager, I don't get it at all. It doesn't make sense, but I like what they're doing in Chicago. Moving on, I don't need to get much more into that. We can talk about it if you want, Sabo. I mean, we got a Red Sox fan in the house. What are your thoughts?
Well, Rafael Devers said after their win against Washington that God is on their side. So
that's what we needed to hear.
Pretty good about your bet. That's all I'm going to say. That would be reason enough for me to put some money on the bet.
Excellent.
As a man who's bet on Michael Pittman's season long over based on the fact that he was Bible study partners with Carson Wentz, which that bet's going really well, by the way.
It is. You're on track.
I'm a believer in this stuff, so you made a good bet there.
Thank you. We're back on the Mito train, gentlemen. The fighting Chilean here. I've got him to beat 4 guys at plus 350 odds. I love these bets. You don't have to beat the entire field. You just have to beat these 4 guys. 4 completely random guys. Patrick Reed, Adam Scott, Charlie Hoffman, and Adam Wise. No slouches by any means. But I believe Mito Pereira is the truth. I think this is going to be the year of Mito. Who knows? This might be my Washington football team on Sammy's card. I might have Mito Pereira in my card every single week. Who knows? Hopefully he plays every week because I don't know what I'm going to do in the other slot. Staying in the Shriners, I believe, is the PGA tournament this week in Vegas. We've got Brooks Koepka, Scotty Scheffler, and Abe Answer to make the cut. They just have to make the cut. I actually am most nervous about Brooks, believe it or not. He's the one that I think is going to either be contending or mailing it in after his Thursday round. So that is the most nervous person in this one. I feel like Scotty and Abe are locks to make the cut, but I know Abe has done very well at this tournament in years past. Plus 150, bet 20 to 150, and then my other $50 bet, as you can see here, just a fun one. Just something that you can all root for. Cincinnati Bengals to have the longest touchdown against Green Bay only against Green Bay. It's not longest touchdown in the whole entire league. It's just having a longer touchdown than their opponent. So if Cincinnati has a 20-yard touchdown and the longest touchdown Green Bay has is 19 yards, that is a winner. So that's all we're looking for, just a bomb to Jamar Chase. Hopefully Jesse Bates can keep Devontae Adams out of the end zone on a deep route. That's what we're hoping for. Plus 125. Thought it was fun odds. Bet 22-22 2050. How you like that, Joey? We're getting out of the Devil's playground there with the 666 bet. We got against the spread parlay. I actually did do this one, so I had a better number than Mr. Clayton. No, Sammy. I believe Sammy had the Buckeyes. I got Buckeyes minus 20.5, BG minus 14, Iowa minus 2, and Bama minus 17.5. Betting 687 for 13.57 odds, and we're gonna try and take home $100.10 if this ends up
Pretty good bet.
working out. So I really like Iowa this year. They have a vibe of few teams years past, but I really love their defense. I think they're gonna pretty much be in any game that they got on the rest of the slate. This is by far probably their toughest test thus far. Looking back, like they probably aren't the third best team in the league or in the nation, considering Iowa State and Nebraska. Who's another team? Who's the other team they beat early on in the year? Indiana. They steamrolled somebody early on in the year. Those two teams ended up not being as highly ranked. It might have been Wisconsin, actually. No, it wasn't Wisconsin. I have no idea. Really like this Iowa team nonetheless. Love the Buckeyes this week and the Falcons. I haven't seen them being a favored by this much in probably 3 years, 4 years. It's been a minute. Akron hopefully is going to be the worst team in Division One, and we will enact our revenge and just blow the doors off them like they did to us last year. So here's hoping, and then Bama's Bama. Texas A&M's down. Have a feeling that they're going to roll. So roll Tide. Moving on. That's my slate. Any parting shots you guys want to have before I pull the next person's up here? We'll save the winners picks for last, so we'll go with Sabo next.
Bowling Green 5-0 versus the spread this year.
Yes, they are. Just not money line. Just not money line.
14 is pretty bold.
That's a lot.
That has run for about 100 yards total this year.
We who needs to run the ball? It's college. You just need to score. Mac McDonald, whatever. I don't know his name. I don't know. Matt McDonald. Excuse me. I think he's actually able to throw.
The best quarterback in the MAC, which speaks more down to how bad the MAC is, I'd say. But
yes. But
I think he is.
But he looks like a Division I quarterback now, instead of last year.
Right.
The atrocity that we were watching.
I wasn't even that upset about the game last week. Just the fact we were competing and moving
on the road. Yes.
It was crazy. I remember we went down to Kent State, I think 2 years ago, and lost by 70 points or something.
Correct.
It's been a revelation for sure.
We might have
to the moon, baby.
To the moon. All right, Mr. Sabo. As we go to the moon here, we have you pulled up here. That's not it. You're gonna have to.
I don't have anything posted.
All right.
Sorry. I got it right here.
Take it away. The floor is yours. Our audience will listen with great curiosity here.
Here is my DraftKings special pick that I always like to do. The one that I liked the most for this week, which I'll say the worst one, is I don't know if you looked at those at all.
I did.
There's a Cordarrelle Patterson one that is the worst bet I have ever seen in my entire life.
I agree.
Ever. Worst odds I've ever seen. That dude, if you have him in your fantasy team, trade him now. Trade him now as my advice for as far as that
I
works.
was so high on him when he was in Minnesota. I love the guy. He was a
Yeah,
staple
oh
on
no,
the
he's
team.
fine, but I mean that dude scored like 38 points last week and played 27% of the snaps. That's incredible. I don't even that's this kind of stuff that makes me mad. But anyway, I got Saquon Barkley and Ezekiel Elliott over 199.5 total yards
Easy money.
rushing, receiving combined.
Loved it. Saw it.
Saquon
Loved it.
he's got a tough rap heading into the year, but I think he's fully ready to go. He's been playing 90% of the snaps the last 2 weeks. New Orleans is an incredible defense against running backs, and he still had over 110 total yards versus them. Love that you can get it running, you can get it receiving. It doesn't matter what the game script is; he's going to get there. Zeke, I think that he was after the Tampa Bay game. Everyone's saying, "Oh, he's washed," and Tony Pollard, blah blah blah. But I mean, again, Tampa Bay, gotta love them, respect them. All right,
I will
he looks
say.
great.
I will say this: there's a big Q next to his name after today's practice. I don't know if you saw that.
Um, I
Be all
didn't,
right.
but that's slightly
Be all
worrying.
right.
But anyway, no. You know what? Forget it. Zeke thrives off of it. Keep hating on Zeke because he's letting it. He's fueling him. He's running with purpose. I think everyone's saying how good Pollard is, and he's kind of taking that personally. So he's been getting a lot more work lately. So I'm going to take the over on that one. That's at plus 110. So
We'll
going
believe
on
you.
to
We
my
trust you.
props. First prop, my Thursday night prop. I always like to do a Thursday prop.
It's the only
So
prop
I kind
available
of
typically.
had a hard time with this one, but I fell onto this one. I'm going to take the Tyler Lockett over 5.5 receptions at plus 100. So I have a couple things I like about this. First off, um, historically, when Seattle plays LA, Jalen Ramsey tends to shadow DK Metcalf, and DK Metcalf has had some rough games. And those two, Lockett and Metcalf, kind of trade off big games, and it's kind of like either one is horrible and one's amazing, or vice versa. I think this is a Tyler Lockett game.
Okay.
Also think that this is a weird fluky stat. I find all these weird stats. All right,
That's why we have you.
Seattle is averaging 52 offensive plays per game this year,
Okay.
which is like 10 below the next closest team. So a very bizarre, quirky statistic. I think that's not going to hold up over the long haul. I think they'll get more plays in. Will increase a little bit more output with their offense. Chris Carson looks like he's going to be out. They're going to be throwing the ball a little bit more, I think, to keep up with the Rams, and because their defense is an absolute sieve. So I'm going to take Tyler Lockett on the over. Since Tampa Bay was off the board, and they're like my favorite team to pick on, I'm kind of moving on to my next team. I'm beginning to notice this trend. We'll see if it keeps up. Um, I'm seeing a reverse of a pass funnel defense to a run funnel defense for the LA Chargers. Okay. The LA Chargers base defense is a nickel. All right. They're very thin up front, and they play this defense where they just dare you to run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. And they just kind of test your patience, like just kind of waiting for you to make a mistake. I think even if they try to load up, they just don't have the personnel to stop Nick Chubb. I think Nick Chubb's going to go ham this week against the LA Chargers. So I took the over 83.5 rushing yards for Nick Chubb. Absolutely love him this week. He started off the year a little slow, but the last two games he's gotten 21 and 22 carries. So I think they're starting to kind of ramp his workload up a little bit. I think this game will be really competitive. They're going to start feeding Chubb a little bit more. So I like the over 83.5 rushing yards for Nick Chubb.
Love it.
My parlay. Okay, my parlay. I threw in the over, Nick Chubb over 15.5 rushing attempts. Threw that in there. So I put the rushing attempts in there. Kind of same thing, going along with the same thought process there. Got a couple anti-vaxxers here in my other two picks. I got Cole Beasley over 4.5 receptions against Kansas City. Should be a fun, exciting game. Up and down, frenetic pace, lots of throwing the football around. Love that number at 4.5. I'm going to slam it. And then DeAndre Hopkins over 5.5 receptions. Been a lot of talk about Hopkins kind of slowing down and they're spreading the ball, yada, yada, yada. I know he had an injury a couple weeks ago with the ribs. He had to face Ramsey last week. I think all that stuff's a little bit overblown. They're playing San Francisco, which everyone's kind of freaking, oh, San Francisco, great defense. Well, I watched them a couple weeks ago play against Green Bay and Devontae Adams. And I don't know if they're idiotic or if they're so bold, their defense, right? The whole game, they're just letting Devontae Adams single coverage the whole game, no help. The corner got hurt, and the guy that put in, they just let him single cover. It's like they're just like, that's our defense. We're gonna single cover everybody. I don't care who we are. We're gonna play our defense. This is what's gonna happen. I feel like a lot of teams have been kind of doubling Hopkins and looking to shut him down. I don't think San Francisco is going to do that. They'll play it straight up, and I think Arizona is going to attack that matchup this week. So that's my parlay. Chubb over 15.5 rush attempts, Beasley over 4.5 receptions, and Hopkins over 5.5 receptions at plus 419.
Love it. As usual.
Bet.
Excellent.
Got to go with the Shriners.
Oh, boy. What do we got?
All right, so lots of things I considered. I considered old Fat Trick Reed as the winner. Was one of the things I thought about. Just because he's I just got a feeling about that guy that he's just going to be like, he's just like always bullied by everybody and everyone makes fun of him.
For good reason.
Or something I heard. Or like he's fat, or I don't know why.
That's not why.
I feel that's why. But I feel anyway, he got disrespected from the Ryder Cup team. He got left off it. I think he spent all weekend, whether it was warranted or not. He didn't deserve it. I agree. But in Patrick Reed's mind, he deserved it.
Not only did he not deserve it, but he just came out of a hospital with double pneumonia, which you're talking to someone who also was in a hospital with double pneumonia. You come back from that, you're not 100%. There was no way he should have been out there. But anyways.
This is Patrick Reed, though. He's a
professional athlete. Yes, he's a professional athlete. He's much better shape than I was going into that. In fact, I consider myself probably a little better shape than Patrick Reed.
This really, wow, I had no idea this was going to escalate.
I don't even know if Patrick Reed's part of your bet here. I think you're I think you're just talking about him.
No, I'm playing him in DraftKings. I'm playing him.
Oh my gosh!
He's gonna come. I just think he's gonna come out with a.
I want to know I want to know what the miss the cut for Patrick Reed was this week. I would have hammered it.
He's 40-1 to win in this field. I would have hit that, but no, I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna stick with something a little different. Okay.
Top 40.
Young Gun, one of my favorites. He's got a PGA Tour victory.
Okay, not who I was thinking
on his hands. He's he's extremely talented. Kind of came in, bloomed off real good.
Hago?
Kind of slowed down at the end of the year. The old bug-eye glasses. Eric Higo. Top 10. Higo for this week. No one's talking about him. I love him on this course because this man over in Europe, 3 of his victories were at minus 23, minus 25, and minus 26.
Birdie
that
fest.
Tells me that this man loves himself a birdie fest. And this place, I mean, last year the cut line was at minus 7. The cut line. So this is the true definition of just a birdie fest, where you just whack it off the tee wherever you want. As long as you're not in a cactus, you're going to be just fine. Get on the green, just putt it in. Whoever makes the most putts is going to win. And Higo, he loves making putts. He loves driving the ball far. I think this is a perfect setup for him to make some noise.
Top 10?
I'm all in on the top 10, 13-1. Top 10 for Garrick Higo.
I love it. I might be adding him to my lineups here with my boy Mito.
6,900.
69. That'll work. That is in the price. That is in the budget. I'm gonna tell you on that.
If you lose money, you can play Doug Gim for the same price.
That is true. 100%. Famous last words from Mr. Sabo. Doug Gim is now going to win the Shriners Invitational.
He wins. I'm going to be so mad.
All right, let's move on. Thank you so much, as usual, Sabo, with the incredible analysis. Each pick is just so thoughtful, and we appreciate your insight. We look forward to seeing how this week goes, and after I transcribe all the picks, the audience at home will be able to see what exactly you bet on instead of having to watch the episode. You have to listen, folks. If you want Sabo's picks, you got to listen. So,
right.
Anyways, Joey, our champ, moving on. I go to you, sir.
All right. So we got, 5 picks this time. We're going with that again. We're going to start with our Steelers pick. Starting 1-3. I don't know. Maybe the Steelers aren't the Steelers anymore. I don't know. But you know what? I think another week later, maybe a little bit healthier. Ben's even more hurt. That just means he's gonna play better. That's all that means. He's just gonna play better and better.
That's how it works.
Just keep talking.
Keep talking yourself into that one. That narrative. Denver's defense, just complete sieve. They're terrible.
Anyways, I can't believe that they're gonna just lose, another game. I don't think they're gonna lose 4 in a row. Teddy looks like he is trending downward unless there's news saying otherwise. Is Drew Lock really going to go in and win this game? I don't think so. I got them with the alternate spread at -6.5. Win by touchdown. That's all I want. Let's just get this.
That's
here,
all. That's all. 1-3 team to win by 7 against a 3-1 team. That's it. That's all he's asking for. Just one little win.
To go wrong.
Hey. Maybe the Broncos aren't that good. Maybe they really just aren't that good.
It's true. Who'd they beat? The Giants, the Jaguars, and somebody else really bad, I think.
Yeah.
The Jets, right?
Jets, yeah, the Jets, yeah.
Their first test. Their first test was Baltimore. First test on the road.
All right, next one. We're going with Bills at Chiefs for the highest scoring game on Sunday. Just two of the best offenses in the league. I just feel like this is going to be a slugfest, back and forth, battle of the Titans. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, who's going to put up the most points? They're just going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Who's got the ball last? It's one of those classic games. Love it. Not the greatest odds, but I love it.
Yeah, but okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of a prop bet, I also had the Zeke and Saquon for over 199.5. Very, very good bet. I was very liking that. Was looking at the last couple games, kind of saw the same thing. Zeke's been going off. I think he had 185 rushing last week with maybe 20 receiving. I'm not sure. Had 110, I think, or 105 the week before.
You just say he had 185 rushing yards last week?
Yeah.
185? He did not have 185 rushing yards.
I swear I looked. Maybe it was 185 total he had. He had
maybe. I don't think he got that. I don't think it was that.
He's on my fantasy team.
Same. He did great. He had a great game. He had a great game. It wasn't that great of a game.
Maybe he had 185 total. Maybe 185 total. Let's
I
see.
don't think so. We just can't have you lying to the public here. We can't have you get
All
away
right,
with that.
100, he had 143. My bad. I was only off by 40.
Okay.
My bad, guys.
Okay.
My bad. Okay. Either way, I think that's gonna be an easy cover. I think that's. I'm not gonna go into too much more. Sabo's already gone into it. And I'm gonna go against Sabo. Cordell Patterson. I have him in almost every league I can, and he's been riding on the bench. I should have been playing him this whole time. You know,
now that you're going to play him, he is going to be awful. Oh, no.
Hey,
You fool!
I am all for that train. I don't care how high the percentage is or how low that percentage is. If he puts up the numbers, he puts up the numbers. So that's what I'm going with.
Oh, no.
What is the bet? What does he have to do?
Over 30. He has to get 30 yards rushing. He has to get 46 yards receiving, and he has to score.
I'm not worried about the score. I'm not worried about the receiver. I'm actually worried about him rushing. That's where he hasn't put up numbers. He's put up the touchdowns. He's put up the receiving. Where he's had trouble is rushing. So that's where the risk is with him, in my mind at least. But you know what? I'm riding with him in fantasy, so I got to go with it.
Oh, brother.
I'm
glad I did it. I'm glad I didn't look this over before because this just adds to the show after Sabo just dashing it.
That's what they want you to do.
All right. Last one, parlay. We're going college ball. We got. I got to thank Jake here. He helped me put this together. Helped me find some good numbers. We're going for win bet. That's where the sports book we use. Georgia spread -14, and we have Penn State and Stanford money line. Georgia's defense is going to be too much for Auburn. I think they're in a class of their own. I think they might win the whole shebang this year. Just too good. Stanford, I think they might just continue, being this dark horse kind of no one's really talking about. Last week they kind of came alive, So, had just a little feeling maybe they can pull out another win. Penn State, my team, my guys. Oh, I don't know if they're going to do it. I don't know. This is going to be a hell of a game, or it's going to be a blowout with Iowa taking it. I don't know. Penn State offense is what it's going to come down to. Can they do something? Terrible at running the ball. I had some high hopes that they were going to be able to run the ball this year. Not at all. They've been terrible outside of quarterback play.
Clifford, the big white
yardage. Just kind of waiting back there and seeing in a running lane and going for it. So they haven't really been the good. I think last week though they actually did put up some pretty good rushing yards. I think that was kind of fluky though, so we'll see. It's just, can this offense be anything out of Jahan Dotson? Mel Kiper has him as number 1 wide receiver right now, going number 8 in the draft. He's a beast. He's putting up receptions every week, put up a ton of yards, put up touchdowns. Can they do something outside of that, though? I don't know. I know Parker Washington's come along pretty well. That's their other good wide receiver. They got 3 tight ends they like to utilize. A little bit of trickery they've been doing. But I think a lot of it's going to be, can they run the ball? I mean, even if you can get 70, 80 yards, going outside of your quarterback, just, back there and decides to, take a little run, that might open up their playbook. Their defense has been pretty good overall. They are a little suspect at times against the run, but their secondary is one of the best in the nation. So we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping they can hang in there. I think it's going to be back and forth all game. Might come down to whoever has the ball last. They do have a kicker with a strong leg, so might come down to
always nice
46-yard field goal. So.
Always nice to have that strong leg in your kicker. Well, worst of luck to your Nittany Lions this week. as I have the Hawkeyes.
Yes.
But very happy to help you with the win sportsbook, finding you Georgia minus 14 somewhere instead of 14 and a half, and they were sleeping on your Cardinal, the Stanford Cardinal.
Yep.
Believe that game is at Arizona State. Is that
I believe
correct?
so. I believe so.
Tough test for Stanford going to Tempe, or maybe that's the same. I think it's Tempe. Best of luck to the rest of your picks, however, though, Joey. Moving on, let's get into just a quick peek at some season-long updates, or the season-long picks. Start with Clayton. Cleveland 10.5 over, on pace, I suppose. Big test this week against the Chargers. Josh Allen MVP's got some work to do after that Week 1 thrashing at the hands of the mighty Pittsburgh Steelers. We'll see what happens. See what happens the rest of the way. Mac Jones, who knows? I think it's going to go to the receiver. It's going to go to Chase or blanking on his name. Not Devontae Smith. I guess it could be. Anyways, I think right now Rookie of the Year is Chase, probably Offensive Rookie of the Year. Trevor Lawrence, most picks. I honestly have no idea how that's going. Probably okay. And then New England making the playoffs. Going to need some more wins from them. Yours truly, Lions and Jags are my only hope for an 0-17 team. Texans having the fewest wins is in play, but then that would mean that I need the Lions and Jags to get some more wins because of that Week 1 result. Corey Davis over 850 receiving yards. I think that's going fine. And then Bama undefeated national title. So far, so good, even though a close one in Gainesville. Joey had Chase Young Defensive Player of the Year. Could happen. Aaron Donald Defensive Player of the Year. Could happen. Najee also could happen. Offensive Rookie of the Year.
No.
When he gets targeted 19 times, you're going to put up some numbers. So maybe he'll keep breaking some reception records at the running back position. Dak Prescott most passing TDs is probably possible, not likely right now. And then Goff most interceptions. I actually have no idea.
No, he's not. I checked like 2 weeks ago. He's not even close.
Okay. Excuse me. With the yawn there, folks. It's getting late. Washington football team won the division for Mr. Sammy. Dallas is looking pretty strong there. Calvin Ridley leading the league in receiving. Not going to happen. Dak, most passing yards. Could happen, maybe. Joey Bosa leading the league in sacks. I don't think is going to happen. Zach Wilson, Rookie of the Year. Moving on. John, Oklahoma does not make college football playoff. They've been sneaky bad all year. So as long as they drop one of these, I have a feeling they're going to be out. One loss Oklahoma, I think, doesn't get it over undefeated UC. So we'll see. Saquon, most rushing yards. That didn't have a prayer to begin with, but who knows? Maybe a strong second half from Saquon. He just starts turning it on like Saquon of old. Stephon Diggs, most receptions. Not going to happen. Stafford is definitely going to throw for more than 30 touchdowns. So that one's like a lock. He's doing great there. And then Packers win the Super Bowl. Sure. I mean, they're not terrible, but I don't think they're making it out of the NFC. Oh! Sorry. Swift, under 8.5 TDs from Mr. Sabo. How's that going?
He has one.
That's going well, then. Ebron, under 500 yards receiving. Mr. Moore, how's that going?
That's going very well. I don't think he has 100, so I don't even think he has 50. Might not even have 30. So
let's see. Yes. Let's see.
Anticipation.
He has 27 yards.
Okay, doing great. Russell Gage, over 700.5 yards.
Not good. You got hurt.
That's
a problem.
Not what you want to hear. Who is this? Antonio Pittman over 800 yards? Oh, our Bible study lad over in Indy.
Michael Pittman's crushing it. Yeah. Michael Pittman's.
He's got he's
yards almost.
Barring injury, he's got this on lock. And then Antonio Brown over 700, probably also looking great.
He's got 205 already.
He's on pace for sure. Good deal. We'll wrap up. I'll just show the public what we're looking at for my guess the spread this week. Get your guys' thoughts on it as well. Let's see if I can pull this up. Will it pull up? I don't know. It's going to pull up. Can you guys pull it up? My against the spread, not results, but my picks.
I can't get anything to pull up.
It's awfully curious here. Anyways, folks, I don't know if I can pull this up or not because Discord is not opening this attachment. Yeah. However, I'm just gonna run through these. I don't know what the lines are that I had, but I do have Seahawks plus 2.5. I've got Bengals to cover plus 3. I've got the Jets. I definitely have the Jets. I think I have them plus 4. The line keeps shrinking. Lions, Vikings. I've got the Lions to cover plus 9. Didn't find plus 15 out there that Mr. Dyer found. on his all spread. Broncos, Steelers. I've got the Steelers minus 1. Barring Teddy playing, I don't think Drew. Like Joey said, I don't think Drew Lock's going in there and beating them. But I also don't think they're going to win by a touchdown. Dolphins, Bucks. I've got Miami to cover, big spread, plus 10. I think. We'll find out later. Saints, Washington. I've got the professional football team, I believe, plus 2. Eagles, Panthers. I've got Carolina covering minus 3.5. Titans, Jags. I've got the Titans minus 4.5. Patriots, Texans. I've got the Pats minus 8.5. Bears, Raiders. Give me the Bears plus 5.5. Browns, Chargers. Give me the Brownies plus 1.5. Sprinkle the money line. Love the Brownies this week. Giants, Cowboys. Give me the Cowboys minus 7. Niners, Cards. I've got the 49ers. Are you streaming right now?
I'm trying to.
Oh, you got it. Let's just pick up at Dallas minus 7 here. Trying to remember what I had. All right, I did have San Fran plus 5.5 at Arizona. Buffalo, Kansas City. I've got Kansas City covering. They're against the spread. Woes are behind them now. I believe they got it in the bag. Indy at Baltimore. Give me the Colts plus 7. Thank you so much, Mr. Moore, for sharing your screen there. Scroll back up. Make sure I gave these numbers right to the public. I think I said all these correctly. Yep. Looks good. All right. Thanks so much. That will do it for this week's episode of the Sportsbook Show, to be named later. Join us next week for hopefully a double punishment episode and a Garrett Higo celebration. of his top 10, inevitable top 10 victory, or not victory, who knows, he might win. Top 10 finish at the Shriners in Vegas, Birdie Fest. Best of luck, gentlemen, in your picks, except go Hawkeyes, Mr. Moore. With that,
Go Steelers,
with
go
that,
Lions, we are.
who day?